Add the screen. Hello, and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My God, what a tremendous game. Game 2 was. Oh, it didn't look good for a little while, but the Knicks pulled it out 101-92. Oh, on the old tired legs of Derrick Rose, who weren't that tired. They were not that tired. Welcome, everyone. Just getting this thing going. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Samuel Pagan. Welcome, Sam. Oh, my God. This is fantastic. What a great win. This is going to change everything for the rest of this series. If the Knicks had not won this series, things would have gone very, very bad. And I'm so glad it didn't happen. So glad that didn't happen. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, man. This is truly, my God. What did I say? What did I say? If you guys watched the previous live stream yesterday, I said the Knicks were going to hold the Hawks under 100. I said at the last minute, maybe they'll get a lucky 3 at the last second. They'll get it to 102. I said 109, 102. It ended up being 101-92. The Knicks defense totally clamped down on the Atlanta Hawks in that second half. Beautifully. But let me tell you, it was an ugly game from an offensive standpoint. Ugliness. I mean, I think we only shot, what did we shoot? My God, but at least we started hitting some threes in the second half. Oh, my God. Trent, welcome. Sam, welcome. Oh, my God. How's the sound and everything? Because I didn't really check any levels. You guys give me a thumbs up if it sounds good to you. Do you guys hear music in the background? All right, let's see here. Let's get this box score up here. Oh, my God. The New York Knicks held the Atlanta Hawks to 27.3% from behind the arc. Oh, good on this. Oh, excellent. Oh, thank you guys for joining. My God, I had to go on live. Unfortunately, JD's not feeling good right now. I hope he gets better real soon. And Keith he's working right now. Or he's taking care of business. I don't know what he's working, actually. Steve Larson, welcome. Randle has to play much better. Oh, yes. Hey, look, let me give you guys my quick take on it before I get into the chat, because I definitely want this to be a whole back and forth with you guys in the chat. Okay. And once again, the reason I did not think game 1 was a must win is because I don't think we were going to learn enough from game 1. This is the game that we learned about this team. This team was able to beat an offense, an Atlanta Hawks offense that normally averages 113 points a game. They beat them. They beat them without playing well from the offensive end. We scored only 101 points. We scored under our season average. Oh, my God. And look, this is what happened here. Julius Randle, 5 of 16. That's pretty shitty. That's not even 33%. 15 points. RJ Barrett, 5 of 14. It's a little over 33%. 13 points. But, and then also, let's look at Alec Burks. Burks' last game was sensational, right? This game, 5 of 13. 11 points. Emmanuel Quickly, 2 of 9. I mean, if I read to you those numbers, you didn't know the result of this game, you would have thought, oh, my God, we lost. But Derrick Rose, 9 of 21, 2 of 3 from behind the arc. We only had 12 three-pointers by halftime. We finished with 23. No, with 33. What am I saying? 33. So we shot an additional 21 three-pointers in the second half, and that was the key. I've been saying all along, the only way we win is if we shoot more threes because we can hit them. We are actually, I was totally wrong by the final numbers. I never checked the final team statistics of the season. We tied for second best in three-point efficiency with the Brooklyn Nets of all teams. Number 1 was the Clippers. Number 2, tied the Nets and the Knicks for three-point field goal efficiency. This game was so important to win because now they can relax. They know they have their D that they can go to, and that's going to make the shots flow on the offensive end for this team. When we go down to Atlanta on Friday for game 3, I think it's Friday, right? I'm pretty sure it's Friday. They're going to be so much. The pressure is off, and yes, pressuring the defense on Trey. First of all, the defense above the 3-point line was sensational in the second half. Sensational. Hey, welcome for the love of the game. Welcome. What's happening? Drop that link. Yeah. Okay, I'll drop the link. Hold on. Wait. All right, hold on. Let me get to this part. But yes. What's up, Adam? Adam Gaston. Thank you for joining. Yes! This was fucking awesome, guys. We fucking the first Knicks playoff win in 7 years. Oh my God. And it didn't look good for a while. Oh my God. I'm sure you guys were all watching it and like texting your friends and shit, and you're probably all freaking out. We were too. But let me tell you, the intensity that the team came out in the first quarter revealed everything I needed to see. Oh, sorry. Everything I needed to see from this team. I'm so hyped right now. I'm so hyped because I could see they were so engaged. They were locked in. The shots just weren't dropping, but the defense was there. And that's what wasn't there in the game one. Even though, I mean, we kept them to 107 points in game one, which is pretty decent. Nothing like the way the intensity was tonight. Tonight was fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. I know. I'll send you the chat. I'll send it to you. Hold on. Hold on. Get my boy here. All right. All right. Here we go. JD's hurting, so get some friends up in here because I want everybody to chime in. This is a fantastic day for New York Knicks and the New York Knicks fan, the New York Knicks nation, our team. Oh my God. You know what? Man, we you know how many points the Atlanta Hawks scored in the second half? They scored 35 points in the second half. An offense with Trae Young, with Bogdanovich, with Hunter, Capella, who else? They got some other fucking style. Lou Will. Wow. Gallinari, Kevin Huerter. We held that offense to to 35 points in the second half. Oh, this is what I was waiting. This is the team I was waiting to show up because this is playoff basketball, man, where they just grind it out. It's just every possession. You just play it to the last possible second. You never give up. You never give up. And this team did not. They believed in each other. They trusted each other. And it showed. It showed. And Derrick Rose, you know what? Let me tell you, there was a little too much dribbling for a while for my taste because that's not our offense. Our offense is not dribble. That's last year. Our offense is dribble, move the ball. It was kind of a hybrid of that. It wasn't enough passing, in my opinion, which just shows how much better we can be. We have to be. We only scored 101 points. So if we had scored 101 points in game one, we still would have lost. So we got to keep this thing going. Hey, thumbs up for me, guys. Let's get this thing rolling. We got 9 in the chat. I love it. I know there's a lot of shows going right now, but what the hell? This is a celebration. This is the celebration post game. This is not those somber post games where everyone analyzes shit. No, this is the hype one. This is the one where we come to celebrate an incredible win because I'm telling you, I got a great feeling. I got a great feeling about this. Well, you guys know me. Hey, Francis Abogado. What's up, brother? Thank you, D Rose. Whoever has been writing in my chats, I mean, a bunch of people saying, just wait for playoff D Rose. Well, you guys called it. You guys were so right on the nose with D Rose. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy, guys. Trent. All right, let me read some of the chat here. Let's see. Do you remember that Sam Pagan, do you remember that the Knicks went to the NBA Finals as an 8? Yes, I remember that very clearly, brother. Very clearly. I believe that was the first 8th seed to ever go to the finals in the history of the NBA. It may still be the case. No, wait, it wasn't Miami an 8th seed last in the bubble? Adam asked, what do you think decided the game? Oh, what decided the game was the defense. It was the defense all the way. I mean, look, we only scored 101 points. So we held the Atlanta Hawks, one of the most potent offenses in the NBA, to 92 points. So it was definitely the defense. But we hit timely buckets. This is what playoffs are all about. I'm not sure, I'm not sure how much playoff basketball you guys have experienced from like an avid fan standpoint, because it's different when you watch it, when you kind of just watch it when it's not your team. It's very different because emotionally it's different. You're not invested in every play, every single dribble, every single pass. You're not invested the way we are. You can know, like the way we were tonight. It was definitely all the defense. Fuck ESPN. That's right. I love how YouTube tries to hold these comments. Like, wait, should we show this? Yes, absolutely, show this. This is Into the Knicks-Verse, where fans can speak their minds, speak their hearts. This is what we do here. This is the fan forum. And you know what? I try to give you guys as objective an analysis as I possibly can from a fan's point of view, which sometimes may mean I may just fucking turn on somebody, like you see me turn on Elfrid Payton. And by the way, the best thing that happened tonight, let's put it this way, the second best thing that happened tonight. The second best thing that happened tonight was Elfrid Payton did not start the second half. Thibodeau continued the evolution of his growth. It took him a while. Don't really understand the mentality, why it took him so long. I know. I listened to his post games intently. I try to read between the lines and try to analyze what he's truly trying to say. And if you watch the reinvention of Rose, Thibs, and Randle video that I did, you'll see in there I talk about that. I really believe that Thibs and Rose have this tremendous history between them, and a lot of people blame Thibs for overplaying Rose, which is what led to the devastating injury that changed his life. So I think it's just a way of Thibs to, kind of like keep himself in check. If he doesn't start Rose, he can't overplay him. I think that's the thinking. I think if Rose I think he played another 39. He played 39 minutes last game. Played 39 minutes this game. Can you imagine if he had started the game? He would have played 44 minutes. And that may be too much. It's interesting how like those extra minutes can really impact the player in the long run. All right, let me check. I think Miami was like 5 or 6. Okay, so it is. So I think the Knicks, we'll double check that. I believe that the 99 Knicks were the first and only 8th seed to ever go to the finals in the NBA. All right, let's see what else we got going here. Trent, I'm from New York and always been a D-Rose fan, so this is so dope. I know. It's fantastic. This is, God, how great it must be for D-Rose right now, right? To think all the shit he's been through in his life. Those nights where he's just in agonizing pain, trying to recover, and then injury after injury after injury. I think 3 meniscus tears. That orbital fracture, the ACL is one thing. He kept having injuries after that. And to think that now, here he is, 1-1, first round, the 4th seed, and we're going to go down on Friday. We're going to win that game on Friday because all the pressure is on Atlanta. It's not on the Knicks, because the Knicks know we know what we got in our bag, and it's lockdown D. We know how to disrupt that Atlanta offense. Fantastic. The 94 Houston Rockets, the NBA final add the 16-1. Yeah, that Rockets team was a pretty sensational team. But we could have won that series. We could have won that series. Hey, brother BKL Contreras, welcome, brother. Yes, we have to believe. You know what? Well, you guys know I'm out there. I've said it. I've said that this team can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I've said it. Now, we're not going to get there if we keep playing like shit in the offensive side. But today we took care of business on the defensive side. Game 3, we're going to get the offensive going. We have Z joining us. Hold on. Let me get my what's up, Z?
Not much, man. On break at work. How you doing? How you feeling?
Welcome, brother.
Sorry, I can't show my face. I'm at work, and we got confidential stuff going on here. So. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear? Welcome, Z, from For the Love of the Game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great win. Great win. I turned on my team so fast. It was so annoying. I was so mad at Julius Randle. I was ready to go down 2-0 and be done with this series. And then look what happened. We pulled it out. I still don't quite understand how we did it, but we did it. Happy.
We did it. We did it because we played sensational defense, man. Sensational defense. We only gave 27.3%. We only allowed 12 of 44 3-pointers.
Yep.
Hawks.
We were actually getting out and contesting this game.
Yeah.
And they had a couple wide open ones that just didn't fall. It was almost like the story for us game one. Our shots didn't fall. We didn't execute.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing: the wide open ones aren't as wide open as we always think. You know what I mean? Because when they've been challenged 2 or 3 times before that, when they finally get a wide open one, they end up rushing it because they're so used to being contested. So even if the guy's an extra foot or 2 away from the defender than he was from the offensive player than he was before, they're still going to rush that shot. But Donovich was 2 of 13.
Wow.
2 of 13. Yeah. Young still delivered, and that was the great strategy. Applause to Thibs. Young still was 11 of 20, scored 30 points, 7 assists. He still delivered, but everybody else, no one else really did much. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, Herder kind of hurt us for a little bit, but it didn't last. It did not last.
Capella came up a little bit huge in the fourth quarter there, a couple buckets.
Yes.
But he was pretty much a non-factor most of the game, which is good.
Dude,
that's a good strategy, though. You let Trae Young cook, and you let him make sure he doesn't make his teammates better. Exactly.
I think that that's going to be the strategy going forward. I'm sure Nate's going to have some tweaks. He might. Nate may take the ball out of Trae's hands just for some stretches to kind of use Trae a little bit off ball sometimes to kind of get him loose, get him some easier buckets because he had to work hard for what he had. Even though he got the 30, he was working hard for it. So we'll see how they respond. Gallinari was 2 of 10. I mean, everybody. Snell, 0 for 2. Lou Williams, who actually, when I rewatched the game, Lou Williams was a humongous factor in that game 1. He only was 1 of 6. 1 of 6, man. Wow.
It was just amazing to think, it's 1 minute. It's just the beauty of a playoff game, man. Part of me overreacting and me and my friend's group chat was just I haven't been seen a playoff since I was a senior in high school, man. It's been too long. I can't believe this feeling's back. That's number 1. Number 2, Julius Randle. I was about done and a half with him in the first half. Second half, he had 15 points. He's got to step it up, though. When it comes to Friday in Atlanta, we have to have a better start than we did if we want to win. It's a no-brainer. We can't keep expecting to come back down big with nothing working and just pull the rabbit out of our hat every single time. We got to blow this team out and send a message.
Absolutely. And I have a hunch. That this win is going to unlock the offense now because they're going to be a little more relaxed. They got that monkey off their back. Remember, This is the fucking playoffs, man. Like the intensity of it, the magnitude of it is overwhelming. And if you watch that Julius interview that he did with the TNT guys, but if you watch the angle that the New York Knicks posted, it was great. He talked about it. He said he was just way too amped up for that game, and he still was a little bit too much here, but he calmed down in that fourth quarter. I think in the second half, what did he shoot in the second half? 5 of 7,
something like that. He was still timid. Like you could still see it in his body language. He was timid. He was almost afraid to attack, and he almost like double clutched a couple threes. Like I don't know. I need to see him just attack. If the shots don't go in, they don't go in. Like game 1, we just didn't make our shots.
Yeah.
And the supporting cast didn't make their shots either. He had a lot of nice passes in both games. He should have had a 10-plus assists in both games, but people didn't make their shots.
No, in fact,
he needs to not be timid. Take the ball to the basket. Shoot his shots if we're open. Same with RJ. Same with Burke. Same with everybody. I saw way too many open looks that were passed off tonight.
Yeah.
And yes,
IQ passed up on one or two that I was like, what?
Burks
And
passed
then
up on one.
and Bullock
RJ.
passed up on an open mid range. Well, that's because at the half, I know I'm 100% sure that Thibs told them, you guys shoot more threes, guys. They only had 12 threes. There's no way. I know I love me some D Rose. I love what he does, but when he takes the dribble and he goes to the basket, yeah, I mean it's fantastic. But at the same time, that's not the way to win. We got to get our threes. We have to get 35 plus threes a game. And what do we get? We got 33. We finally had 33. We only had 12 at the half. So we had a 21 more threes in the second half. And that's really why we won the game. We hit 10 threes in the second half.
Yep.
Wow, we went 10 of 21 in the second half from behind the arc.
Yep, no doubt.
Fantastic, man. So how are you feeling
in the third quarter?
Yes.
I feel terrible. I feel terrible, like, because I turned on my team at the end of the first.
You turned on them.
I turned on them.
That's because you're young.
Yep.
That's because you're young, man.
Yes.
This is
It's
these games.
It's been a while since the playoffs.
Absolutely. Look, I'm an old fucker. Look, that game, I was at that game. I should have called it out yesterday because that was the anniversary of it. It was yesterday. I saw the Knicks battle for so much that you can't give up on this team because of the crowd too.
Right. I got to run. I got to get back to work. But I just wanted to say publicly, Julius, come back. I'm sorry. Blame it on me. It's all good. And love the Knicks. Love your show, man. Everybody that's listening, like and subscribe. Don't play around. Tap the bell. This guy's got great content, great takes, good guy. Hey, man, I'll see you. I'll probably see you Friday.
Thank you, brother. All right. Thank you, brother. Take care, Z. All right, man. That was Z for the love of the game. You guys should check out his channel, man. They have some great post game and pregame stuff too. And actually, I think sometimes they even do some watch alongs, which are really fun. All right, let's read some of the chat here. Trent, you didn't watch the whole game? What happened? Julius needs to defer to D Rose in the clutch. I think there was definitely a lot. They had a nice thing going between the two of them in the fourth quarter. Bullock needs to be on Trey all series. Yes. That was well, Thibs made that switch. I noticed it more in the fourth quarter. Let's see who else. Tom Herrera, welcome, brother. Oh, that was your comment. Sorry, man. I didn't see that part here. Woo! So how do you guys feel in general now about the whole series? How do you think about our chances of actually moving on? Or let's focus on game 3. I always get everyone a little too more forward thinking than we need to be. We should really just take it one game at a time. How do we feel about game 3 coming? Trent, I fell asleep before the game and woke up right before the fourth quarter. Then you watched the best part, Trent. You lucky fucker. Knicks in 5. That's right. Knicks in 5. Hey, I'm serious. I'm absolutely 100% serious. The Hawks had no answer for the Knicks defense tonight. And the Knicks did not even play well on the offensive end, and we still won this game. So, to me, in the playoffs, when I'm analyzing stuff like that, that gives the Knicks the advantage in this series, as far as I'm concerned. That's the way I see it. And look, it's not like we completely shut them completely down. Their best player still got his 30, 37. He had no steals though. Let's look at the turnovers. Okay, we had 10 turnovers, which is decent, but they had 13 turnovers. The defense of the Knicks completely unnerved the Hawks. How many times have we seen Trey make? I think Trey had, how many turnovers did he had? Trey had 5 turnovers. I don't ever remember Trey in game 1 just doing like a pass that just went out of bounds. He had at least 2 or 3 of those in this game. Tom says, I want them to win 1 of 2 in Atlanta. I'll be happy with that. Yes, that's the very zen, very good outlook to have, very even keel outlook. I want 2. I want both of those. But yes, if we come back from Atlanta tied 2-2 for game 5, That's awesome. All we need to do is go down to Atlanta and win one. They say a playoff series doesn't really begin until the home team loses. So we lost. Now we got to go back and deliver that same punishment to Atlanta in Game 3. In my opinion, Game 3s are actually the most important games in a series, because whatever the situation is, if it's 0-2, 1-1, that Game 3. First of all, it's the third game you've played each other. And if you win that one, then you're going into Game 4. You've learned so much about your opponent. And if like in our situation, we have Game 5 and 7 at home, it just really changes the pressure. It alleviates the pressure. And the Knicks, we saw what happened in Game 1. We're not that great with a lot of pressure. So by gritting, totally battling for this game 2, I think it's really going to make those shots that we're not hitting connect this time. In Game 3, I think Knicks are going to 118 to 107. We're going to win that game. Let's see. Trent says, I honestly think that if we win Game 3, we're winning this series. Yes. Yeah, I'm telling you, Game 3s, people always talk about Game 5s. No, Game 3s are pivotal. There's a statistic. I'll look it up for you guys. I won't get it right now, but there's a statistic that says whoever wins Game 3, I think wins 70-something% of the time. I'm trying to get JD to join me. He's not feeling well, but it'd be nice to get him to chime in. Just call in, JD. You don't need to go on camera. All right, let's see here. We got the defense was insane. It was completely that defense completely unnerved one of the most potent offenses in the NBA. I mean, one thing that pissed me off so much is hearing how the Hawks have better talent than the Knicks. You know what I say to that? Fuck that. Fuck that. They don't have better talent. They don't have better talent. What's better talent? Because some guy can just shoot. But I mean, what's better talent? A team. It's the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That is the key here. Wait, did I say that right? No. I totally reversed it. But you guys know what I'm talking about. This team plays like a team. Everyone has a role. And if they execute their role, well, we've proven it. We've beat the Clippers. We've beaten the Bucks. We haven't beaten the Heat, and we haven't beaten the Sixers. That is true. But we didn't have, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose makes a big difference, man. Adam, I'm not happy with RJ's play right now. I'm with you, man. And let me talk a few minutes about RJ. RJ is 20 years old. He's 20. This is his second post game. He's still, kind of getting up into gear here. And even though he was not efficient, look at his stats compared. He only played 26 minutes. He was 5 of 14. Randle was 5 of 16. Barrett was 2 of 5 from behind the arc. He had 40% of his 3-pointers. Randle hit 2 of 7. He had 8 rebounds. He had 2 assists. You know what I mean? He ended up being a -3. He wasn't that, but at least he contributed 13 points in periods where nobody was doing anything on that team. So yeah, he definitely. I think he's going to, as the games tick by, if we just keep able to scratch out wins, this kid, the learning curve is so high. He'll get acclimated. He'll get his footing. And then who knows, by game 4, for all we know, Game 3, he might come out and light it up, 25 points or whatever. But by Game 4, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, this kid's going to be delivering. He's going to be there. Don't worry. He's a very special talent, but he hasn't played that well in the past 2 games. That's absolutely true. Is Breezy in here? Hey, heck, Breezo. What's up, brother? What are you talking about? That's an opinion. I know some people think he played bad. I mean, no one was spectacular. I mean, if you look, Burks was 4 of 13, 1 of 5 from behind the arc. So relatively, the D Rose, yes, was 2 of 3 from behind the arc. Bullock was 4 of 7. But the second most, well, actually, Obi, what a revelation. Let's talk about Obi, guys. What do you guys think about Obi? Let me hear you from the chat. Salute, Heck. Hey, Heck, if you want to call in, I'll drop the link. Oh, man. Wow. For a stretch there, it did not look good for us. I mean, I'm not gonna bullshit you, man. We did not look good. Adam, George, imagine if Payton starts game 3. It's in Atlanta. I can see Thibs using that as an excuse. LOL. I think it's the end of the Elfrid Payton era. Finally. And you know what? It's good for him too. It's just it's exposing him. The entire basketball world are watching these games. And when he comes out and flounders the way he does, he's so ineffective. He doesn't lead the office. He can't even make a bucket. Has he even scored in the 2 games? Yeah, he got 1 free throw. So he was 0 last game. He got 1 point this game from a free throw. He was 1 of 2 from behind from the free throw line. Now, just sit him, let him relax, let him regain his composure, and then maybe you bring him in with the second unit when we need some minutes, we need some fouls. You know, let's say, for example, Derrick Rose gets into foul trouble. There's going to be a time for Elfrid Payton to regain a role on his team. The problem is he was miscast. He was miscast like the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but Back to the Future, it was originally cast with Eric Stoltz, who's the red-headed actor who was in The Mask, and he's been in some other movies. Really excellent actor. But after about 5 days of shooting, they watched it and are like, no, he doesn't have it. They recast. They had already been shooting for 5 days. You know how expensive that is for a Hollywood movie? They recast Michael J. Fox, and then the rest was history. Elfrid Payton has been miscast as the starting point guard of the New York Knicks for way too long, and finally someone gave him the hook. And I think Eric Stoltz went on to have a great career. Great career. It didn't ruin Eric Stoltz's career. It's not going to ruin Elfrid Payton's career. In fact, I think if anything was ruining it was forcing him to keep playing as a starter with this unit. It just wasn't working. Who is my favorite Knick of all time? My favorite Knick of all time is undoubtedly Bernard King. There's so many I love. I love Ewing. I love Patrick Ewing. Johnny Starks. Love Johnny Starks. Oakley. That whole 90s squad. Clyde. Clyde was my first love when I was a kid. But the incredible potency of Bernard King on the offensive end and the way he played through pain with broken fingers. He's by far. If you guys haven't watched, if you guys have not seen any Bernard King tape, I encourage you guys to Google, YouTube it, watch it. It's just mind-boggling what an effective scorer he is. Melo patterned his game after Bernard King. In fact, I would say probably there's probably hundreds of NBA players that patterned their game after Bernard King. Definitely check him out. Sorry, guys, I'm talking. I'm missing the chat here. Let's see here. Hey, Sco! Welcome, Sco. Welcome, Daryl D. Let's see what do we got going here. The goat, Lil Keith. Hey, Lil Keith. Welcome, Bodega Wi-Fi. My favorite handle. Obi ignited the crowd. Obi played a sensational game. 12 minutes, 2 of 4, 1 of 2 from behind the arc, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, some big rebounds. He had a block shot. He did have 2 turnovers. That's to be expected. 8 points, but 8 points in 12 minutes. Those were huge because basically he's Julius when he's out there. So that you add that 8 to Julius's 15, and then we get 23 points from the power forward spot. Okay, now we're talking about some decent contribution from that number 4 spot, and we can't go without talking about in some ways the defensive hero of the game was Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson played 30 minutes, 3 of 4. He got so many he was able to get some deflections. He was able to disrupt. I love the way he jumped out and he didn't just stunt the defender. When they switched over, he was really effective. He scored 6 points. He's a plus 23 in the plus minus. The next closest was Reggie Bullock with a plus 13, and all of that came in the second half, probably in the fourth quarter, actually. The next one behind that was Derrick Rose at a plus 12. So that just shows how impactful Taj Gibson was tonight. Plus 23. Nerlens was a minus 14. You know what? He might be a little too his frame might be a little too thin to really have an impact with this Atlanta Hawks team. Capella just shoves him out of the way constantly, but he can't do that with Taj. Can't do that with him. All right, let's see here. Brother Contreras says, yeah, Taj was a plus 23. Crazy. How's LeBron James better than Larry Bird? Samuel, you're talking about, I mean, he's not. In my opinion, Larry Bird, LeBron James doesn't come close to Larry Bird. That's just how I feel. He just doesn't come close. And I hated Larry Bird because I hated the Celtics, obviously. But you cannot appreciate his game. It's fantastic. Now, LeBron's longevity, though, that's what really puts him in a separate category all on his own. He's just phenomenal that way. The fucking Lakers won last night. Incredible. Brother Contreras, yeah, I think I know why. When Elfrid Payton came to the floor, he need to play between minute to minute, like 5 or 6 minutes, then rotate to D Rose. It's called switcheroo. It's like who goes in and out. Yeah, I really believe that we've seen the end of the Elfrid Payton starting point guard era. You know, it was trending that way anyway, and then Rose got COVID, and then it was still trending that way. And then Burks, remember when Thibs was trying Burks out as the point, then Burks got hurt. Actually, he got COVID as well. So it like pushed the plan back, and then Elfrid kind of just kept hanging around, and then we went on that win streak with Elf as the point guard. So I think in Thibs' mind, he just felt comfortable. He's like, hey, why make this change when we're winning? But that's not how you get the greatness. You get the greatness by making the tough decisions when you don't necessarily have to. But finally, Thibs did it. Can you guys believe? I mean, I was stunned when I saw Derrick Rose come out to start in the second half. Oh, let me take these off. I don't need this. Hey, my son's in the chat. All right, you guys. Dylan Esguerra. That is my son. He is I'm in his room. This is his room. He's in college right now. And I've turned his room into my home studio. I don't know why I put the headphones back on. But Dylan, hey Dylan, you want to call in? I'll give you the let me give you the link. All in, Dill. I figured it out through my mind when you said yes. Oh man. Tom Herrera says Herrera. I like that. Esguerra Herrera. He says, do you think we'll get Mitch back before end of series? That's a great question. I believe okay. Yes. My answer is yes. And this is why. Especially either way, if we win game 3 or lose game 3, there'll be arguments for bringing him back. here, and the argument is if we lose, it's hey, we need more bodies, we need his vertical length. He is the first of all, he's the perfect 5 to defend against a Trae Young, because not only does he have the length and the agility and the speed to disrupt him, but he also disrupts his vision. And we've seen how Mitch can recover, and so like let's say he makes the pass, Mitch can recover and get the rebound and disrupt the other offensive player that is rolling. Mitch would be fantastic in this series. And then here's the other reason why, if he's available, of course, it's all predicated on his health. If he's available, then we would want him to kind of get some game time for the next series, which is going to be the Sixers. And we desperately need Mitchell Robinson to battle against Joel Embiid. Mitch is a tremendous perimeter defender. Tremendous. Yeah. Bodega says he thinks he's going to be available by game 5. Well, then it's great. That'll be the closeout game. Can you imagine we close this thing out in game 5 in the Garden? All right, I'm dreaming. Let's get a little more realistic here. Realism. Oh man. God damn it. What a great fucking win. I'm so happy. So happy. Here, zoom in, Dill. I want to get my son to come in here. My son has a great basketball mind. The way he breaks the games down, I love it. I love talking to him about it. And one of the things, when he went off to college, I kind of missed that because he's busy. He's busy. He's got his life, his friends, his girlfriend, his studies, working his ass off over there. But I hope he can join us. If not, we'll have him join us for another live stream later on. Oh boy. So what was there a moment in the game where you guys just thought it's done? It's over? Like the Knicks are just not going to be able to come back? Or was the general feeling like you guys thought, no way, we got this. No matter how the score goes, we got this. We can come back? Or were like I'm wondering, I want to gauge the room because a lot of people say I'm a little bit too much of an optimist. So I always wonder how other people are approaching the game. Like Zach, he turned on Julius. He was like completely, I'm over this shit. And I don't blame him, honestly, because it's harsh. It's harsh to lose. Tom says Mitch is up to 271 pounds now. Yes. And I mean, you guys tell me, do you think Mitch put on that extra weight just for the hell of it? Or do you think he put on that extra weight specifically to battle the Sixers or the Nets? My opinion is that's why he did it. He did it to give himself some more girth to be able to battle. I mean, Embiid is a huge body, and the Nets, the net, DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, those guys. Definitely the extra weight and muscle is going to help Mitch. And all along we've always wanted Mitch to put on some extra weight, but not like weight, but just more muscle. Brother Contreras says, no way, Knicks definitely back and find the way to win. Yes, good. That's how I felt. But man, we held the Atlanta Hawks to 35 points in the second half. For 24 minutes, we held them to 35 points. Trent says we're the better team. If Julius can find his role and exploit it, we'll keep winning with this energy. Yes. Here's the thing. I'm glad you brought this up. And when I was in the chat talking with Keith from Sports Vibes TV and JD, we were discussing we need less point forward Randle and more power forward Randle in the playoffs until he can finally get his shot dropping, which he did. He got those 2 threes to drop, which were really key. So hopefully once he needs to be relaxed and in the flow of the offense to really be able to do his damage. Because if he's not connecting, then they double team him and he feels like, oh, I need to score. He has that burden. He doesn't make the decisions quick enough to release the ball, to spray it. He needs to find the open guy in the court faster. He's not doing that right now. And you know what? And Rose also did a little bit of that. I want to see more ball movement. How many assists did we have tonight? One thing, we had 15 assists. It's not that sensational, but Atlanta only had 17 assists. So one thing that we need to recap here. So this is the beauty of Into the Knicks-Verse. The analysis that we've had so far in general is like people were worried about Capella, the defense. Capella has been irrelevant. The rebounding has been irrelevant. We held Atlanta. They only got 41 rebounds. We had 54. These are things that I had a feeling that Thibs was going to adjust, and they did it. And that may even be the key of the game because we limited those second opportunities for Atlanta this time. The first game, they had a few more. This game, we suffocated them. That's the best. I think that's the best word to describe what the Knicks did to the Hawks tonight. We suffocated them. We didn't give them a chance to even breathe, to relax. Because even when Zach said, "Oh, they did have some open looks," but the thing is, when you've been getting suffocated for most of the night, when you finally get an open look, you're rushed because you're not in the flow. You're not in sync. You don't have your rhythm. Like the way we allowed them to gain a rhythm in game one that they didn't give them that at all in game two. And that really was probably the ultimate difference in this game. Bullock should have been guarding Trey from the jump. Yeah, that's a great point. I was a little confused as to why he wasn't, because it seemed kind of like the natural decision. I got to rewatch the game. Maybe Atlanta was doing a good job of getting switches. Not sure. I have to rewatch it. But definitely in the fourth quarter, Bullock was on Trey. But remember, Trey sat. What time did he come into the fourth quarter? Does anyone know what time? Because he was on the bench for quite a while. Because that definitely helped. Man, that second. Once again, the Knicks' second unit delivered tonight. Frank White, welcome, Frank. Welcome to the chat. The need to stop letting T. Young walk the ball up the court. Yes, they do need to do that. They do. In fact, there was that one shot where they showed and the ball was on the floor kind of rolling, and then he went down to pick it up. I was like, why the fuck are they letting him relax like that? You cannot let great offensive weapons feel comfortable ever when they're on the court. And for enough of the time tonight, the Knicks didn't do that. But there were definitely stretches where they did, they didn't have enough intensity. But in general, they didn't let them feel comfortable. Let's see. I'm trying to see what time, at what mark did Trey get back in the game. I can't tell here. Oh, at the 8:34 mark in the fourth quarter. The game was, the Knicks were up by 10. Oh, yeah, that's right. They were up by 10, and he comes in, and then, boom, a three-pointer from Herter. Trae Young gets fouls. He hits his two. Then he hits a floating jumper, and then Capella makes a layup, and it's 88-87. The Knicks lead was chopped to 1 point. But then Reggie Bullock hits a three, assisted by Derrick Rose. And I think that I don't think the Knicks, they did tie it. Bogdanovich hit a layup, and then Capella had an alley-oop dunk. So they tied it at 91. And that may be it. Yeah, it had to be it because they only, oh my God. Wow. I didn't realize this. The Atlanta Hawks only scored 1 point after the 5:06 mark in the fourth quarter. Whoa. Wow. For the last 5 minutes, they only scored 1 point, and that had to have been a free throw. That was, which free throw is that? DeAndre Hunter. He missed the first and hit the second. That was it. That is incredible. Yes, baby. We need our, Bodega says we need our lucky charm coach Woodson sitting courtside. I wonder if he'll be there. I wonder. Oh, guys, what a great win. What a sensational win. I'm so fucking happy. I'm so happy because this team has been such a great team to watch all year, right? I mean, it's such a surprise. And for them to have just, if we had dropped this game tonight and it, you know, going on Atlanta and, you know, for some people, you know, when I post these videos, you know, I get all kinds of comments in the chat and some people are just like, you know, you're delusional. They tell me, yeah, for all we know, the Hawks are going to win the next 4, you know, or sweep the Knicks. And I'm like, come on, guys. You think I'd do this fucking channel if I didn't know a little bit of what I was talking about? But at the same time, you never know. You know what I mean? Like a team could just fracture. We've seen it happen. I mean, basically, that's kind of what happened to the Clippers. The Clippers fractured. You know, the Doc Rivers Clippers. But also this Clippers are starting to fracture too. But that's a little different. That's just, you know, the Mavs and Luka just cranking it up into extra gear. And now the Clippers have to respond. So I don't think that series is as over as people think, because Kawhi is just tremendous, and they might find a way to get back in this thing. But, you know, this is a young team, you know, first playoffs for the key players, Randle and RJ. And you can see it's affected them. They haven't played that great. If you really dissect the whole thing, our two most important players, two of our 3 most important players, because I'm putting Derrick Rose up there as well. The 2 of our 3 most important players have not played that well. And we're tied 1-1. And we kept the opponent to 92 points in game 2. Fantastic. Oh man, I'm so happy. So happy. What's your feeling in the chat about game 3 coming up? What are you guys thinking? I want to hear some score predictions. Oh, Trent Turner says, when they went on that run and made it 88-87, then Bullock hit that jumper, I knew we'd win it if Randle didn't settle. Yes. Yeah. Hey, you gotta hand it to Julius. He stuck with it, and that little Euro step he did, that was gorgeous. That was good. That was at the 113 mark to put us up by 9. That was a big bucket, by the way. Trent says, honestly, I think RJ is that important, at least not as important as Quickly. Quickly contributed. At least he was able to allow Thibs to keep Rose off the court for a little bit during that fourth quarter. And that was important because those 4 minutes he got of rest, you know, it was enough. It made a big difference. Without Quickly contributing, it would have been hard. It would have been hard to keep him off the court. All right, so Adam says 106-101. That's a good. I'm with that. Tom says, I think Knicks win game 4. Not sure about game 3. Okay. All right. The Euro was everything, Trent says. Yes, it was. It was. Whew. Here's what I think. I think we're going to win game 3. I think we're going to win game 3 because the winning game 2 is such a huge hurdle. Just winning your first game in a playoff series is such a huge milestone that I think Julius is going to come out. He's going to be so much more relaxed. For all we know, Julius is going to get his 30 like he was doing against Atlanta before. And then once he does that, then everyone else's roles become much clearer, and everyone else doesn't feel that burden, to try to make something happen out of nothing. Everyone just kind of just falls into their roles, and all those 3-pointers that didn't hit will start hitting. We'll get back to our efficiency that we had, which is tied for second in the entire NBA with the Nets. So all this talk about how incredible the Nets are and everything, and Joe Harris and blah, 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 they ended up the season with the same 3-point efficiency that the New York Knicks had. Number 1 was the Clippers. Yes, that open 3 that quickly missed hurt me. Normally, the thing is, I don't remember Quick shooting that many corner threes. Now that I think back this season, I'm sure he has, but I haven't seen Quick hit a corner 3 in a long time. Big Task, welcome, brother. Jesse Rodriguez, welcome, brother. Awesome. So glad you guys could join us, man. What a great win. Huh? Awesome, man. Into the Knicks-Verse. Oh, man. I want to see a new poster. Who's gonna make a new poster this season for the Knicks? Who's it gonna be? Yeah, man. Hey, Trent, you should watch the whole game. Rewatch it. It's going to be an illuminating game to watch, because you'll see what I'm talking about. How in the first quarter tells you everything. The defensive intensity, the engagement that the team had on the defensive end. You knew if they could just maintain that, they were going to win the game, because eventually their shots were going to fall, because the Atlanta Hawks don't have that. I talk about this, the gear, that extra gear. Some teams can play really good defense, but then when it really matters, they don't have that extra gear like the Knicks had. Obviously, we held an incredibly potent offense to 1 point in the last 5 minutes of crunch time in a playoff game. So that'll tell you everything you need to know about how incredible this defense is. Adam says, George, you see Trace say, I'll see you guys in the A. Yes, he should say that. Of course he should say that. He should say that. He should be confident. He should want to, he should want to. Hey, Left Rack City, yes. Oh, man. When I was a little kid, man, I used to live in Regal Park, and I had friends on the other side of that bridge. We'd walk across and play with them in Left Rack City. It was harsh back then, man. I was in a gang at 6 years old. But I'm sure nowadays it's better. I hope it is. Jesse says, I was so upset because Randle and the boys were settling for jumpers when Atlanta was in the penalty with 8 minutes. Yes, but then they started driving. That's when Julius did his sidestep. The thing is, though, we need to keep shooting threes. We cannot beat teams in the playoffs without shooting 35 threes or more. There's just no way. And it's just math. Because they're going to shoot that many threes, and they're going to hit whatever they're going to hit. So if we're shooting tons of twos, that means we'd have to shoot for every 2 threes they hit, we have to make 3 twos. And there's just not enough time in the game for that. If this was a different kind of game where it's like, hey, first team that's, when you play first to 21, then it's different. It doesn't matter. Then you just go to what you're most efficient at. But because the clock is the enemy, you got to keep shooting threes. And we're a great 3-point shooting team, so we should never stop shooting threes. Maspeth Queens in Bushwick. All right. So Queens. Obi. Okay. How I gotta say, without Obi giving us the production that he's been giving us, first of all, we don't win. And I don't think we go deep, because it's just too much it's just putting even more on Julius's shoulders than he already has. So by having Obi come in there and give real production, it just calms everybody down. Look at how long did I think Thibs left the second unit out there in the fourth quarter for, let's see, like deep, right? I mean, look, Obi was still playing at the 640 mark. Yeah, at the 640, so almost halfway through. So the fourth quarter was almost half over before Julius had to come in. That is fantastic. That is so important. Oh, God, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Oh, man. We're going to win this series, guys. We are. We're going to win it. And then we got to play the motherfucking Philadelphia 76ers, who are some bad-ass hombres. So we are going, I mean, we got game 3. I don't want to get too far ahead, but that's just my feeling. Jesse says they need to pick and roll Obi like there's no tomorrow. He's Amari 2.0 to me with a better yes, absolutely. And I think those things are going to develop. You know, it's going to come. I want to see more. I want to see more pick and rolls. I want to see some pick and rolls with Randle and Rose. I want to see easier shots for Julius. How about we run some plays to get Julius some easier shots, man? And then run some plays for RJ instead of give RJ the ball and see what he can create, which is fine because he needs to do that sometimes. But I'd like to see him get some easier looks. You know, make life a little easier for the offensive players, especially when they're putting so much effort on the defensive end, right? Lightning Leg, welcome, Lightning Leg. Yes, I did see what. Mitch tweeted the eyeballs, right? The kind of like, oh, because someone else was tweeting. Someone named Zach was tweeting that he was available. Actually, they tweeted, but we'll see. Let's see. Jesse says Atlanta is MSG number 2. We're about to take that shit over. That's right. ATL gonna have to try to steal one on their own court. I 100% agree with you. 100%. And you know, but you know what? You got to give it to Atlanta. Give it to the Hawks. They came here. They split the series here. That's what they had to do. So, you know, hats off to them for taking care of business here in the Garden. But we're going to go down. We're going to take those 2 in Atlanta. Let's see here. What else we got here? Cartier Joe. Hey, Cartier Joe. Welcome. Thibs needs to trust the rooks more. Run curls for IQ. Yeah. I want to see a little more creativity on the offensive end. You know, the thing is, in the playoffs, things tighten up. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. Do I think Obi can be an all-star in the future? Yes. I think. I mean, he's got a long way to go. I'm not going to be honest with you. I think if all goes well, you know what? He's shown a lot of growth, right? I mean, we saw him the beginning of the season. He looked lost out there. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know where to be on the floor. He didn't understand the pace of the game. And all that has come around. I think for the past, since a little before Easter, Obi started clicking. When I dropped that Obi Toppin is finally popping video, that's when he was finally starting to get it. But he didn't, you know, it's not like I don't think Obi scored. He hasn't given us 20 points at all one game, right? The whole season. I'll double check that, but I don't think he has. But I think his highest end is probably a one-time All-Star. You know, maybe 2. That's at the highest end. If all things keep developing, because he has great length, he has great speed, he has a great attitude. Salute, Stevie Fox. What's happening, man? Foxy, welcome. Hey, Foxy, if you want to join, I'll drop the link in the chat. Just let me know. I think he has great potential, and he's just a slow, he's a late bloomer. So who knows? Maybe like in year 4 of his career, he'll really start settling in. He would have definitely gotten more time this year if Julius hadn't developed into what he developed into, fortunately for us. So that kind of impeded his progress. And then no summer league, a really short preseason, all that stuff conspired to delay Obi's blooming, which we're finally seeing now. And what a great time to see it in the postseason. Fantastic. I mean, Obi really contributed some incredibly meaningful minutes. 12 minutes plus 6. He even had a block. Oh, yeah. At minimum, he'll be a long-term rotation player. Absolutely. You know what? Yeah, I'll even up that a little bit, Tom. I think at minimum, Obi will be a starting power forward in this league on a team somewhere. At the minimum, I think he has just too much hops, and he has such a great nose for the ball, right? And what I love is how he can adapt to the defense as he's going to the basket. And he has those reverse dunks. I mean, the guy's got a lot of versatility around the rim and that 3-point shot. We were all like, oh my God, what? Remember when he was airballing? But I still wanted him to keep shooting because it's just the way of the game. This is not the old NBA when a guy came in and he threw a couple air balls up and you're like, no, you know what? This guy can't shoot from the outside. Let's just get him down on the block. And this is what we're going to do. He's going to have a low post game. That'll be his career. No, because that guy doesn't last 10 minutes in the NBA. You've got to be able to, unless you're a 7-footer. Anything less than a 7-footer, you have to be able to shoot from the outside, shoot the 3. So Obi kept shooting, kept working on it. And look at the benefits tonight and the other night too. All right. Sorry, I'm a little slow with the chat. All right. AM, welcome AM. I generally think that if Obi keeps practicing his shot under pressure, his 0 for 3 foot game, and really studies, within 3 foot game, and really studies floor generals like LeBron, you'll find yes, I agree. And you know what? And I see that in him. We did get 12 shots blocked. Yes, we did. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Because it shows that we're putting pressure on the rim. And that was a very important aspect of this game. Big difference from last game. When you're forcing defenses to sag and collapse around the rim, it opens things up eventually on the outer end. And then we saw it. Finally, Bullock got an open look. Finally, Rose got an open look. And they connected. So that's great stuff, man. John Christopher, welcome. Thibs, Rose, and Gibson. Feels like 2011 again. Yeah, right? God, what a journey those 3 have been on. And to happen here in New York, what a perfect place for them to come to join forces again with this team and to perform for this incredible audience. I don't know. You guys are probably all watching the MSG stream, which I'm jealous of. I wish I was too. But here in LA, we can only watch TNT. But when the game ended and they cut to inside the NBA and the Barkley and Kenny Smith and Shaq, the looks on their faces, they were envious. They wish they could have been playing on that floor in front of that MSG crowd. They couldn't stop talking about how awesome that crowd was, and that's what. And then the players feed off of that. Yeah, MSG was so loud. My God! Oh, when that happened, it was like the crowd went nuts. AM says, by the way, Donovan Mitchell is back today and he is doing well. I love watching that kid play. You can tell he really loves the game. Yes. I'm going to drop a video about Donovan Mitchell soon. I want him to come to the Knicks. I mean, everyone does, but I think there's an opportunity for it. There's too much. There's a little too much friction that comes out of the Jazz locker room. Too much weirdness, with the whole thing with his injury and his doctors clearing him, and then the Utah doctors not clearing him. Creates a lot of frustration, and they lost that game. If Utah ends up not getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, there's a possibility that Mitchell Donovan's just like, you know what, guys? He may ask for that trade. He may be like, you know what? Look, the Knicks can give you, 5 draft picks and a couple of good players. Let's just make this happen. I want to go home. Let's make this happen. I've given you guys 3 or 4 years. We had a good run. Let's do this. There's a chance that could happen. Fingers crossed. In the second quarter, with Hawks and penalty, with 8 minutes to go, I thought Thibs was going to say, next motherfucker to shoot a jumper going to be running laps in this motherfucker. Yeah. No, I think in the locker room at halftime, Thibs told every one of them, said, look, we got to shoot more threes. We just have to. I mean, driving is fine, but if we don't mix it up with enough threes, have a balance, we're not going to win this game. And they did it. They shot, we only had 12 3 attempts in the first half. So we finished with 33. So we had an additional 21 3-point attempts in the, 21 in the second half, which is good. I would love us to shoot 43s in a game. I think Mitchell at point guard and D-Rose at 2 guard would be a deadly backcourt. Yeah, it'd be fantastic to have those two together. Lightning Leg says, what do you think about Colin Sexton trade to Knicks this offseason? I'm gonna reserve comment on that. I have to think about it a little more. I will say this: Sexton is definitely. I've come around on him. I think he's got something. He's got something. It's possible. The problem is Cleveland may just ask for too much. Like him on this team, of course, I'd welcome him with open arms, but it just depends on the cost. So that's really the main issue. I mean, we need somebody. We need a young, dynamic one. You see the difference. You see the difference when Rose is running the team as opposed to Elfrid Payton. Now, it's a world of difference, but imagine us having a De'Aaron Fox or one of my son's favorite players, Shea Gilgeous, like him, and even Lonzo, young legs, great court vision, can shoot the 3, can run the break. We need that. We just how many that I feel like we never get. The only 2 that ever get a fast break is Obi and RJ. That's it. I don't even. Well, Devin Booker would be sensational. I don't think the Knicks have a chance at Devin Booker. I mean, why would he leave the Suns at this point? I don't. It has to be someone who's just disgruntled, who's just feels like their team is going nowhere. You know what I mean? And then, but the Suns are the number 2 right now. Morant saying to his teammates, "I don't know about y'all, but I came to get it in. Get in there, Ja." Yes, Ja is pretty sensational. See if I've missed anything else. Whew. Oh man. Wow. I screamed so much in game 1. I lost my voice. I'm surprised I didn't lose my voice in this game. It was God, I love playoff basketball. Nothing else compares to it. Nothing else compares to the intensity, the magnitude of the moment. every possession is it's like playoff baseball, where every pitch is really is meaningful. It's fantastic. I think Randle just needs more time running a team under pressure in bigger games. Yes. Look, as each quarter ticks by in this series, the Knicks are only going to get better. So this was the game the Hawks had to win. If the Hawks think that they're going to go on Friday and they're just going to blow us out of the arena, they're crazy. It's going to be the same exact kind of game. But the Knicks are the team that's going to get better than they were this game. So the Hawks, they got a lot to work on. They have a lot to work on to try to beat this team. I mean, these guys are like the old school, boxers. They'll take hits, and then eventually around the 8th round, boom, boom, 9th round, boom, boom, and then by the 12th round, that opponent just wants out, and that's what's going to happen. JD joins us. I did not see Reggie Bullock's tweet. I've been on this thing. What was it? JD, call in. Come on, man. Do I like Dennis Schroeder? I like him. I think he has a good. He's a good player. I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's good enough defensively. But I'm not gonna. He's definitely a possibility. He definitely has a lot of talent. I liked him when he was with the Hawks originally. Actually, I think it's because of Trae Young that they let him go. Yeah, I like Schroeder. It just all depends on the money. It really comes down to that, because there's going to be several players. I mean, look how many we've described already. We've described about 3 or 4 guys that all kind of have a similar. Well, no, De'Aaron Fox and Shai Gilgeous are a whole different league, but like Schroeder, Lonzo Ball, who else is in that arena? Sexton. To me, they're in that range. So it's just whoever is the right fit, whoever doesn't cost us that much. I think any of those guys would be nice to have. Dennis Schroeder's a diva. Yeah, that's one of the things I was wondering about his fit on this team. So we'll see. Let's go. Well, JD's sick. I'm sorry, brother. Hope you feel better. So what was the Reggie tweet? Text it to me, JD. Does anyone else have it? The Reggie tweet? You guys can pull it up. An emotional Taj on winning a playoff game with Tom Thibodeau and Derrick Rose after all. Apparently, Taj in the post game gave an emotional interview. Tom Thibodeau, echoing all of New York, says, "I love this team. I love this team. I love this team." What I love the most about it is that they work really hard, and they're surprised. They're surprising. Like Julius, a cast-off from the Lakers, and the Pelicans just kind of let him go. Everyone on his team. RJ was the third of those 3 with Zion. Zion, of course, is fantastic. Ja, and then RJ. He gets disrespected. No all-rookie team. Not even top 25 under 25 at all. Reggie Bullock, also kind of a forgotten player. Alec Burks, let go by his other team. Derrick Rose, all of them. This team is composed of a lot of players that all have something to prove. Like nothing's been handed to them. They all had to earn it. Re-earn it. For in Derrick Rose's case. Reggie said, "Run it back in the A. We with that shits." Yes, I love it. I love that. Jay Jayan, I think that's how you say it. Welcome, brother. Let's see what Vildoza brings to the table. Vildoza is an interesting guy. He's really interesting. There's some great videos that my buddies JD and Keith of Sports Vibe TV have dropped about Luka. He's interesting. He could for all we know next season. Here's what might happen next season. Even though I've done tons of videos about Lonzo and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, Derrick Rose may come back as the starting point guard for this team next season, and Luka will be the point guard off the bench. That could be a possibility. Just putting that out there. JD says, George, this turned out to be a great experience for Obi. Wonder if he can get more minutes. He can match their athleticism. Absolutely. Remember, we were worried. We were talking about, do we think even Obi's going to get even any minutes? We thought he'd get a look and he'd have to earn it, which I think, in my opinion, Obi's totally earned his minutes. He's going to get burned for the rest of this series. And for a moment there, towards the end of the first half, Thibs went small. He subbed out, I think it was Nerlens or Taj, and he brought Bullock back in. So he went small with Randle at the 5. I think that was a moment of experimentation that we may see more of. And then in the 4 role, it may be Obi. So that'll be an interesting lineup. So it'll be Randle, Obi, Bullocks or Burks, RJ, and Rose. Or IQ and Rose, or IQ and RJ instead of Rose, whatever. It's gonna be a small ball 5. But it may not be for because I don't see that working against the Sixers. I don't know. You guys give me your thoughts about that. AM says, hot take. Obi's going to win an all-star spot in 3 or 4 years. I'm down for that. AM, Knicks are like those movies, the losers and the replacements tossed aside by the NBA with something to prove and proving it. Yes, we weren't bad players, just poorly coached. Absolutely. Well, look, yeah, I mean, the proof is in the results. This team, though we do have Derrick Rose this time, and we have Quickly and Obi and Burks, but in reality, it's the quality of the team is not that much higher, other than Rose, than it was last season. I mean, we had Mook. Mook was sensational. Wasn't he our leading scorer for a long time? That's why we were able to trade him and get that number 1 pick that ended up giving us IQ. That was a decent squad. I thought that team could have won like 37 games. When I broke it down, that's what I analyzed, and they so underperformed because of shitty coaching. Fizdale crippled this he so miscoached this team. And then you saw Miller took over, and what did we win with Miller? Won like 17 games, 18 games with Miller? Miller did a decent job. He showed that there was some quality on this squad. And then look, Thibs just unlocked them all. He has them all believing in each other. That's the beauty of that. All righty. How long have we been talking here? I can't even remember. An hour and 24 minutes. Oh, man. All right. Well, this has been awesome, guys. I'm going to wrap it up soon. When you go solo, it's hard to talk for too long. About my boys, JD. Yes, everyone's talking about hey, look, I don't think there's anybody out in the YouTube content Knicks world who has been more of a proponent of benching Elfrid than me. I'm sure you guys have watched my videos. I have like 3 or 4 videos discussing it, dissecting. I even have one where I compare Elfrid and Derrick Rose side by side in these 3-game stretches that they both had, just to show how much better this team is with Rose than they are with Elfrid Payton. So this is a long time coming, way long overdue. I'm so glad Thibs finally made the change. It shows that his ability to evolve may be a little bit slower than we had hoped, but he finally did it. Tom Thibodeau finally made the change and started Derrick Rose in the 3rd quarter. Someone I can't remember who I was reading or whatever. They said, you know what, I could see reread your comment. George, everyone is talking about the EP move. What do you think about the subtle Taj move? Do you start him in game 3? Yeah. Yes, I do. I think Taj has he has a thicker frame that he can deal with Capella better. And he's better. He's better, actually. He's been better at the pick and roll defense as well. This game he was. Though Nerlens had some good moments. But Nerlens is getting banged around. He keeps getting hurt. Was that the text, the comment you were referring to, JD? All right, Tom, later. You guys, AM, come on. We know why Elfrid had this job this long. Yeah. Hey, Rock. Welcome, brother. Great game. Fantastic game. I'm so happy. Oh, it was not looking good, man. You should have seen our halftime text thread between JD and Keeson. We were losing our minds. All right. Well, peace to everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Hit the thumbs up before you guys leave. And, turn the bell on so you know when I go live. I don't really plan these things too much in advance because it's all about, how I'm feeling, because I don't, it depends on how the game goes. But I'm planning on going live after every single post game, and hopefully JD will recover and he can join me, and then Keys can join as well, and whoever. Foxy, open invitation, brother. Open invitation to join me. I had Zach on earlier, and heck, if you're around as well, join me. Hey, Chris, welcome, brother. They did it. I know, fantastic, man. I'm so fucking hyped. Incredible. We're tied 1-1, going back to Atlanta, and we're going to win game 3 on Friday. We are going to win game 3 on Friday, and then, because all the pressure is on the Hawks now. Because even if we drop both those, look at it this way. If we drop both those games in Atlanta, we still come home for a game 5. So that changes a lot in the mentality. I know people are like, oh, well, we lost home court advantage. That's psychologically we didn't, because we know that the final game of this series, if it goes all the way, will be in Madison Square Garden. And we all know how that goes. All right, guys, I need a drink. Actually, I have a drink. I've been talking so much, I haven't even been able to finish my drink. It's a vodka mule. I love you guys. I really appreciate the support, the chat. Hey, any more thoughts you guys have, put them in the comments section. And keep the dialogue going. This is our universe here, the universe of awesome Knicks fans who stuck through the thick and thin, and now we're being rewarded. ATL is our home court. That's right. They're really, and the reason is, well, first of all, Coca-Cola's down there, Turner Sports, which is TNT, is down there, and you think those people that work there are from Atlanta? No. I interviewed for a job at Coca-Cola. I ended up not taking it because I didn't want to go live in Atlanta. But there's a lot of people from the Northeast down there, and that's why those crowds. And here in LA too. When I go to Dodger games, about a quarter of the audience, the crowd, maybe that's more, maybe about 20% are Mets fans. And definitely at Staples, it's a little different, but because the Knicks, we just haven't been that good in the past 20 years. But man, if it ever gets to that, where it's Knicks Lakers again in the finals, maybe next season, one can dream. Let's get Donovan Mitchell over here. And we can talk. People are still there. The Garden's still rocking. Oh man, are you watching MSG? God, I may have to upgrade my my package. Yes. God bless you, Jesse. God bless you, Rock Barnes. JD, get well, brother. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Fucking love the Knicks. All right, man. Well, thanks so much for joining in. And again, add in, make your comments in the chat if anything comes up, any more thoughts or whatever. And I'll be doing a game 3 preview and a post game. All righty. Well, thanks so much for joining in. And I'll see you around the Knicks-Verse.